we were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, they'll be calling you a radical. Oh, what a freaking few days we've had. A lot of heartbreaking news on the nuked Americas. And we got some ugly, ugly breaking news that is evolving big time. Big time. This week is a historically ugly week in all of human history. First off, start off with Carlsbad, the WIPP. Don't you love these whacked out names that come up? Songs, Yankee, Blue Castle, Pilgrim, all these pretty little names. That's the National Repository, Pilot Repository in Carlsbad. No, not the National Park Caverns, which looks like they're going to be off limits for, around 100,000 years at least. As I said, the Salt Track fire, when they reported that a truck caught fire, 15 days ago or so, and I went crazy about it and says, they're lying. Then they come back out and says, the sirens went off. Oh, it's okay. I'm screaming my head off. This is like 3 months. They're lying. Well, it needs to be said, this is a big, big story. The last couple of days, they have monitors spread out across New Mexico. They're very high-tech, similar to RadNet's monitors. I think they're even managed by RadNet. Gina McCarthy, that rat. They detected plutonium a half a mile away from the entrance. You're thinking, oh, what's that? That is a gigantic, heartbreaking story. Now, did it come out of their exhaust? Of course. But what does that mean? That means there's an event going on in Carlsbad. This is plutonium in a detection device a half a mile away. Plutonium isotope. Oh, it's on down there, and I think it needs to be gilded and gold casting in concrete when and where this is going on. At the exact same time there's an event going on in Carlsbad, the new Fukushima map comes out. My story, you cannot make this shit up. It's heartbreaking to me and my family. It really is heartbreaking here in Kool-Aidville, Utah, where on the campus that I do all this work at Weber State University and University of Utah, which they don't even know what, you want to talk epic denial. The most epic denial in human history right here. Cancer capital of the world. By the way, I'm in for my biopsies today at LDS Hospital. I get freaking my test today. I'm very nervous. The new plum map comes out. Here I'm standing by the pond at Weber State University screaming my head off in the early days of Fukushima. Infamous videos. And then mirror images all over the world. Fukushima's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. New map coming out, the government map out of France that's been worked on is showing that the biggest early days was March 20th, 2011. Where did it hit the hardest? Right here, where I was standing there screaming, the Wasatch of Utah. Wow, no wonder I got leukemia. And I had some asshole come to me yesterday and says, oh, how do you know Fukushima causes leukemia? Let me tell all you sheeple, ignorance is no excuse with me. I mean, ignorance is not my foe, it is your foe. Knowledge is my tool. My knowledge about this nuclear thesis saved my own life. You know, I got leukemia 7 months later, a radical, I went from 170, 130 in 3 weeks. If it wasn't for my knowledge, I'm dead. Right here at McQuackty, misdiagnosed, sent home to die. In so much epic pain because leukemia can't form in tumors. And let me tell you, sheeple, in your dogma snuggies, in your comfort zones on nuclearism, we know factually in hardcore detail. The tests from the atomic veterans tell us so. The data from Chernobyl tells us so. The data from the Bikini Atolls tell us so. The data from 3 Mile Island tells us so. The data from the Trinity test tells us so. We have it in absolute 100%. It's right in your face. Nuclear fallout is 100% correlated with AML leukemia. 100%. You die of AML leukemia, you got it from nuclear radioisotopes. That is a fact, gilded in gold, casted in concrete. We know that the incidence of AML leukemia, which kills you, it's not chronic, it kills you. The survival rate is extremely radically low. The wave of leukemia here, right here in Utah, post-Fukushima is gigantic. A whole group of them, including one of my lifelong best friends, got it the same time I got it. Yeah, he's dead. We all walked the walk together, our big group. Judy and I, the last two standing in our group. Yeah, she died last Friday. And let me tell you something, these are incredibly physically fit, spiritual. The sad thing about it is, it seems with the outdoors types, that's people that spend our lives outdoors, us hiking, we do all the right things, that's the one that's killing. We know why now. You know, go to Moab, the cancer capital of the world. Oh, let's go hiking, let's go train, because it is a giant indictment, hardcore indictment on spiritual leaders, on the government, on media. It is malice in my book. It is malice. This is beyond liability. These people should be freaking tried for treason. These people should be freaking held accountable. You know, it's so grotesque because nobody warned our populace. Not professors, not the Mormon church. Oh my God. Because I'll tell you why the Mormon church, evangelical, so many of the spiritual leaders has been hijacked by the degenerate America. Because here's what they think. Oh, we want the earth. It's God's will. Tim Shell, thou mayest. Because then their prophecy comes true. Their self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, see, we told you. We told the earth was going to catch on fire, burn, hell, and damnation, and we're getting our own planet and our 10 virgins. See, and we're the only ones because it's generational arrogance on BALCO. By definition, that is the definition of nuclearism. Give this in gold, cast in Crichton. Nobody ever forget this. At the exact same time, the alarms are going off at Carlsbad, the national repository, where our fuel is stashed. There is no answer for the nuclear waste. And all these people that say they have an answer, they are fucking liars. They've been telling us that for 40 years. There is no answer. Einstein said there will never be an answer. Remember this. Ernie Moxie Fuel Monty, MIT, the new head of the energy department, which is all in nuclear. Barack Obama, all in nuclear. David Axelrod, all in nuclear. Gina McCarthy, all in nuclear. Gina McCarthy, head of RadNet. Now, you don't know what RadNet is? Look it up. Radiation detecting here, we spend millions, if not, well, millions, my ass, billions, to detect. What did they do with it on day 3 after Fukushima? So we didn't know here in Utah. People left didn't know. My children didn't know. These young females like Dana and Carla didn't know. It's murder. Allison McFarland murdered those people in my book. The Obama administration murdered those people in my book because they crashed RadNet and all taxpayer, and so it didn't go down. We knew that. I mean, we were freelancing out there. We knew these readings were high all over. Did we know they were this radical high right here on the Wasatch, Utah? No. And could we take any more? We had 350 open-air tests in Utah. We all know, well, we did grow up know what downwinders were here in Utah. It piled onto us. I said this from day one. My body couldn't take any more, and it piled on me. You know I said that from day one, all you people that followed me. My place and time? Yeah, I guess so. Ruined my life in a lot of ways. Financially destroy me, physically destroy me. I mean, I've come back. Sweetheart, the use of adversity. Yeah, there's some good things come out of it, you know. Me telling this, but the burden has been so gigantic on me and my family. I had 2 little grandsons born right off 3-7. I'm very, very nervous. People say, what keeps you going, Kevin? My hate for the nuclear cartel, my love for my grandchildren. I watched my dad die of leukemia after nuclear in the Vatican site. I've been in the bone marrow transplant unit, going in and out of the bone at 120 pounds. Went without food and water for months. Lived on 4 boosts a day as I just puked back up. It's horrible. I can't believe I lived. Got up one morning, the pigment was gone out of my eyes. I mean, it was so, central line hanging out of my jugular. I mean, it's amazing. I look back in these videos I did with that central line hanging. My doctors were like, God, you're crazy. First person in the United States ever. By the way, I diagnosed myself, sent home to die. I told me carcinoid cancer. Oh, leukemia can't form in tumors. I knew that it could. It's called the nouveau OS. It happens a lot. Gets misdiagnosed, and they were ready to cut and gut me. Surgery on leukemia tumor, you're done. It's over. Hasta la vista, baby. You're dead. I was scheduled for surgery the next morning. Vincent Hansen stepped in, the great old oncologist, his brother and father both died of thyroid cancer in Utah, the Utah smiley face. So here we get more piled onto us. Beyond sad, it's heartbreaking. Beyond 7th generation, I live on the family ranch, the very first Mormons here. I mean, I'm so in love with this landscape. I'm so romantically embedded with this landscape. It is so much me. That's why I've never left. For the first time in my life, I'm thinking, I gotta go. I mean, I read a book about the multi-generational Chernobyl. I mean, people don't get it. I grew up out on that landscape, this incredible, incredible landscape. 300 sunlight days a year with the jackrabbits and the mule deer and the birds, the blue herons, the tundra swans. It's my love. It's my first love. Gotta leave it? For what? The nuclear cartel? To make a few more oligarchs rich? Ernie Motzi yesterday in front of Congress. Barack Howard Obama, the greatest Tom in human history, which I voted for. What was the alternative? Mitt Romney? Wow. The drug cartel from northern Mexico? The mass murderers? One of the dumbest human beings in human history. Never made a penny in his life. All one-header, just like W. All inherited wealth that they squander. He gave a speech in front of Congress. The first nuclear plant has been built in 30 years in Georgia. They have to get the loan guaranteed. And we're not talking Price-Anderson, which is the Act of 1953, which guarantees the insurance. No one will insure a nuclear reactor. They're impossible to be insured. So we insure them as the taxpayer. So if one of them crashes and melts down, there's no liability on them. None. Falls to you and I. So they have to have the loan guaranteed. They borrow the money, billions and billions of dollars, and they build a thing. And why would they do that? Borrow all this money when they can't get the loan? Well, because they know they got the loan guaranteed. They know that the president will use an executive order to guarantee the loan. Oh, no, they can't do that after Fukushima happened. It's so obscene. How can this be possible? How can a populace be this backwards? Why Fukushima, the greatest nuclear meltdown in human history, the greatest event maybe in human history, is ongoing? We're going to build another one and turn it on. And you as the taxpayer guaranteeing the loan. Now, what does that mean when you guarantee the loan, you as the taxpayer? Does that mean, if they just default on the loan, we got to pay? No. It means you pay the loan payment. And they have contracts that you have to buy the energy it produces when we don't even use it. And if you don't believe what Santa Fe didn't prove that to you. San Onofre's been offline for over 3 years. We got that monster shut down. Oh, God, we heard it for 40 years. San Onofre goes down, California goes down. These nuclear plants producing all this energy we don't even use. But by law, written into law, because the nuclear cartel makes the banking lobbyists look like church mice. They own you. Lock, stock, and barrel. Hook, line, sinker. Ernie Mozzie gives a speech in front of Congress talking about, he guaranteed the loan. Well, Obama guaranteed the loan, which the deadline was January 31st, which we know they had just play these games. The coward himself didn't have the balls to do it. The greatest African-American limp dick in human history. Well, maybe Holder, his attorney general, he might rival him. Boy, what a scam they pulled on the African-American community. Barack Obama is nothing but a charismatic version of American exceptionalism. Cornel West, 2 months after he was elected. There's nothing African-American. What has he done for the African-American community? 0.0000. Is he the worst president in history in regard to the environment? Absolutely. It's undebatable. And I voted for him. Boy, did we get scammed. Ernest Mozzie gave the speech and never used the word nuclear once. Here's what he said in front of Congress. And Congress is this pathetic. And American populace is this pathetic. He said, we're going to produce energy from this plant that heats water, that creates steam to create energy. He doesn't even dare use, because they don't even believe in their evil shit. That's a lie. I mean, you down at San Onofre one, I'm the one that exposed in the parking lot. Joni and Rainey are in the parking lot filming the fake union workers. They bust in. Everything they do is lies. Now, who would do that? Liars do that. This is the evilest cartel in human history. This makes bankers look like church mice. These are bankers, by the way. They deregulated public utilities in the 90s. Bill Walmart Clinton. That is the next job. Are you kidding? This is a sad, sad time in this country. So at the exact same time, we're turning on a nuclear plant, a new one, on the greatest nuclear meltdown. We've got a leak going at the National Repository where we store all this waste, plutonium into the atmosphere there no one's talking about. The new map comes out showing hammered in Utah again, where we've taken such a heavy blow as nobody even talks about it. At the exact same time, an 84-year-old nun, the daughter of Dr. Rice, the daughter of Madeline Rice, the protege of Dorothy Day, the protege of Martin Luther King, the greatest human rights activist in 100 years, in Tennessee, is sent to prison for 3 more years for a peaceful act, going into Y-12, which Y-12 is the biggest violators of crime in human history. That's right, the Manhattan Project, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. The nuclear cartel's head of the snake. There in Utah, chickens have come home to roost, Bobby. It had to be done. It had to be done. It had to be done. And the cowards, her and Greg and Michael did it in a peaceful way, in a very cordial way, but it had to be done, and they did it. Should they have been punished? I don't think so. For exposing the Blackwater's robbing us, how many billions of dollars a year do we spend in supposedly protecting this incredible nuclear waste? Now remember this, and no one ever forget this. Reagan and Gorbachev signed a non-proliferation contract. Every country in the world it's gilded and gold cast. It is hardcore law, international law, that not only it's a forbidden against the law to make any more nuclear weapons. We have to get rid of nuclear weapons. Date set. They're making new nuclear weapons at Y-12. Fact, Congress backdooring, sending them money secretly, your taxpayer money, against international law. So who's breaking the law? The nuclear cartel. Megan Rice calls it out. Greg and Michael. So what does Longshanks freaking Knights do? Press their charger under the Patriot Act with freaking terrorism, sabotage. I mean, you think about this. The little weasel, I was in the courtroom, sitting in the courtroom. The little weasel bit piece of scum, Theodore. Hi, I'm Theodore. And I'll tell you what, the judge, the prosecutor, all these people, Ernie Monsi, President Obama, Michelle Obama, all these people, David Arcred, I can tell you they're going to come to regret these days so dramatically in their lives. You know, but you know, Barack Obama scoffs, John Boehner scoffs at cancer. You got the Republican, that orange guy, and Barack Obama. These two guys going at it, supposedly fighting each other for us. That's how politics supposedly working. You know, but yeah, on one side and the other side battle out, and then something comes out, but nothing ever comes out. They're both smokers. Barack Obama's mom was a downwinder, died very young. He doesn't care. I think if they all live to be old men, which, you know, it seems like only the good do die young, but more and more are going to die. You know, the World Health Organization, which is the World I Want to Kill You organization, is hijacked by the nuclear cartels, already come out and declared the cancer as a pandemic. It will soonly turn into an epidemic. Everyone's getting cancer. In Utah, everyone is getting cancer. I mean, it's a mass murder epidemic, and they just accept. They're numb to it. God's will. Yeah. Oh boy, God's will. It's pretty sad. I think they're all going to come a time in their lives, and they're going to look back and say, oh my God, what did I do? Well, I think every one of them. I really do. There's going to come that time. There's going to be a day of reckoning soon on this cartel. It's so obscene what they did to Megan Rice. At this time and place in history, we've never had nuclear fission happen in the history of all humanity. It's our worst fears. 3/11/11 it happened. By the way, so everybody knows, my 3/11/11 symposium will be in Wendover, Nevada, which is on the Utah border, which this whole madness started right there in the desert in this town, in that town. That's where they did all the practice runs for Little Boy. They have a mock-up of Little Boy. The old hangar where the Enola Gay flew out of. Tippett's office right there. All of it right there. That's why I'm going to do it there. This thing needs to come full circle. I want to close the circle. But we know that circle can't be closed now. Pandora's Promise. Oh yeah, don't you love it how they named it that? When they're on the opposite, everything's upside down in this world. Oh, it's Pandora's. As I call us the Cassandrans. Cassandra, the mythical goddess of foreseeing the future, and nobody believed her, and all her heirs for time and all eternity. By the way, my daughter's name. I mean, it's pretty amazing to me that he has the balls to call that. And by the way, Michael Moore jumped in bed with him, and I think Michael Moore, all the great work that he did, Fahrenheit 9/11 is brilliant. Roger and Me is brilliant. But like Michael Moore, Barack Obama, everybody put Barack Obama up on this pedestal when he was running. He's a genius. He's a genius. He has this incredible IQ. We know now he does not have an incredibly high IQ. He has a very run-of-the-mill IQ. He's not a genius. And Hillary, of all the things, and don't kid yourself, Hillary is nuclear evil as it gets, but she ran ads in a swing state saying, hey, he's been propped up by the nuclear industry, he's been propped up by the nuclear industry, because, you know, she's going to, her, you know, Bill Walmart Clinton, she's Hillary Westinghouse Rodham. She said he's inexperienced. He doesn't have a clue economically. When he got in, I'm an economist, I'm a finance guy. Well, I slept right up the git. He was the most green president in, well, green, not, I mean, W. Bush was just plain stupid and pathetic. That's a pathetic person. I mean, the lowest IQ president, by far. You know, Dick Cheney's bitch. Halliburton's bitch. The mass murdering freaking complex bitch. Oh yeah. W. On a leash. Obama is the nuclear cartel's bitch. You know, I thought the African community, they were asymmetric to that, but there's an African American. He didn't grow up in the African American life, but his wife did. His wife did. Robinson, Jackie himself, I mean, he would shake his head at that man. Not my words, Cornel West's words. It's obscene. It's outrageous that nuclear fission is going on in Fukushima. It is ongoing. There is no answer. There's no answer for the fuel. None. And all these people say, oh, there's this technology, that. They're lying. The Livermore lab. And by the way, I think RT got duped. There was an article that broke out saying that Livermore lab is the closest they ever got to cold fusion. I remember right here at our university when them two fraud professors in the 80s at the university. I was there. Stegner was still teaching there. Abbey was still there. And they come out, you know, that guy's still around. He's still kicking around Salt Lake. He's a lunatic, by the way. Comes out, oh, we got cold fusion. Remember that? Stegner's like, what a fucking liar. And I want you to know something about Walt Stegner, too. I was in his classroom. Everybody says, oh, he was this calm, cool plastic. Where do you think I learned my techniques from? He wrote fuck on the board all the time. Abby? Intelligent, intense. Oh, that's what we're lacking. We need passion in this fight. But it has to be intelligent passion. Passion without knowledge and intelligence is the most dangerous thing in the world. Passion with intelligence about yourself is the greatest thing in the world. We don't have it. We have an ignorant populace of sheep. In their dogma snuggies. Worried about gay marriage, worried about guns, worried about all these bullshit freaking issues that mean zero. They're killing themselves. I mean, it's beyond outrageous. The incident of cancer here is off the hook. And I'm not talking, oh, go get my tits cut off, get my prostate cut out. I'm talking dead. I love all these guys. Oh, smoke a little cannabis, whatever. This is not your father's cancer. Well, it is my father's cancer. It's exactly my father's cancer. I watched him die. The naive ignorance out there is beyond bliss. It is a sick cultural time in this country. We have a $20 trillion debt reeling out of control. Oh, the New World, no, it's feudalism. It's as old as Babylon and evil as hell. Remember this. In 1916, in your head, one family ruled this freaking entire world. They were all related. One family from Austria, including Catherine, not so great, the Russian czars. Do you remember the whole, I mean, you go back to it. They were all cousins. Every king and queen sprinkled across freaking Europe, the monarchy, the feudalism system that went on for hundreds of years, including them inbreds in England. Oh, the uranium mine owners. I mean, how ugly are they? I mean, these are the ugliest, creepiest people. I mean, Prince Charles, I mean, can you believe she even slept with that ugly dude for any money? Princess Diane, that was a beautiful female. The sad thing is, look at his two sons. They don't look like her. You know, I'm Kate Middleton. I mean, that is one of the grossest looking females. I mean, not on 2 fifths of whiskey. Wow. The creepiest, creepy. Oh, they got left standing when the rest of them were taken out. One family ruled the whole world. World War I, the bodies are stacked up 200 deep in Belgium in places. Megan Rice's sentencing, I was so violated at it. It's a long time to think about it. I calmed myself down. She got what she wanted. Yes. Is it too big of a burden to pay? I think so. I think it's unfair for her to have to do all this heavy lifting, her and Greg and Michael, this heavy lift. But they did what they did. Now we have to do our parts. This has to be our Waterloo. Is it too late? Oh, yeah. For everybody that's dying for cancer, it's absolutely too late. But I want everybody to go to Jan Brooks. Miss Milky the Clown won today. And I want this to be said right here, right now. It doesn't matter about opinions. It doesn't matter about... This isn't the third fucking grade. This isn't a bunch of little kids running around. I like you, I love you, blah, 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 blah. No. This is historical fact. Historical fact. I started ranting and raving, screaming about Fukushima the day it happened. In detail, told in absolute detail. So did Jan Brooks. So did Christina Radchick. Very early. Jill Stan, her radio show, and Christina on there. But Jan Brooks recorded history. I call her the greatest informatist in history. It doesn't matter if you like her. It doesn't matter if you opinion with her. It doesn't matter who she likes, who her friends are, who your friends are. This isn't freaking junior high school. This is the most important subject matter maybe ever. Gilded in gold, cast in concrete. Her work is historical. It's been cast in concrete, gilded in gold. It's creative, it's logical, and it told it exactly in detail. And it will stand in all in time and history. My work, her work, Christina's work will stand in his. It's done. It's done. Doesn't matter if you like us. Doesn't matter if you like our friends. Doesn't matter if you like our styles. There'll be PhDs done on our work over and over and over because we recorded in factual detail when nobody else did. Yeah, a lot of people came in and did a lot of good work. A lot of great Facebookers out there did a lot of incredible work. And think about the attacks. You Facebookers know this. Think about the attacks we were under. I mean, you can look back. The shit I took for telling the truth, never in human history has it been so hard to tell the truth. To tell the truth in this time and place that we live in is to die. They killed Ellen Swartz. They killed Michael Hastings. They incarcerated Megan Rice. I mean, it is a thumbprint of our time. I mean, the attacks, because ignorance is no excuse with me. Ignorance is your foe, your enemy, not mine. Knowledge is my friend. That's why I'm alive. That's the only reason I'm alive. The only reason was my knowledge and arguing with doctors. And I knew so much about this disease and so much about radioisotopes and fallout and what it does to the body and how it presents and how it goes in. My knowledge overrode some of the greatest oncologists and pathologists in America. The pathologists argued with me. One of the greatest pathologists in America has a reputation. No, Kevin, you're wrong. I'm right. I'm like, I don't think so. He was wrong. I was right because of my knowledge and my experience. Experience means everything. Everything. Barack Obama had none. Green as grass. He's not intelligent. He's not, charismatic. I don't even think he's charismatic anymore. I mean, he was at first. Because think about it. You take this young guy sleeping in his car in L.A., raised by a white neoconservative bank examiner in Hawaii. I mean, I don't think he probably even ever seen a black person until he was probably 18, 19 years old. Harvard Law? Yeah, they're going to let us freaking African American be the freaking head of Harvard Law. When pigs fly. We have one hope and one hope only, and everybody needs to know this. Politically, we all know what that is. What is our hope? We have one hope, and I'll tell you why we have our own hope. Pope Francis. When I was in Eugene doing my 2-year symposium when he picked Francis. I remember that day. I was on the plane, and I was like, oh, I was so excited because I know Francis is the saint of usury. As you on the mountain here in Utah, you for usury, when we were last day standing with usury laws. Jesus Christ threw the moneylenders out of the temple. So people that claim they're Christian, they're the opposite of Christian. The evangelicals, the preaching from the pulpit, Jesus died so I could be rich. The Mormons, they're the opposite, which we were taught as children. We were taught right here, by historical, incredible, loving Christians that there would come a time in America that the devil himself would take the Mormon church, take the evangelical, take all religion and trick them into thinking that they were he and he was they. We live in those times. I'm not that religious, but, most atheists love the philosophy of Jesus Christ. He was a radical. He was a socialist. He was championing the cause for the sick, the homeless, the weak, the tired. And that's what America was. Was is the key word. Was. Mission accomplished. Feudalism again. We're worse than freaking Europe was in 1915. Way worse. On BALCO. This feudalistic system that's sucked up to these people that think they're royals and monarchs. It's beyond outrageous, and you participate. Pope Francis is our hope, and I'll tell you why. Because he's Hispanic. And we know the Republican and the Democratic parties are going to pander forward to one demographic of people, period. I live in the West. They're going to pander to the brown vote. Pope Francis, whatever he says, the brown vote is going to follow. Pope Francis needs to come out anti-nuclear. Like any true Christian always has. he needs to come out. If he comes out anti-nuclear, and he comes out and says free Megan Rice, Barack Obama will have no choice. The Democrats will have no choice. The Republicans will have no choice. Now, here in Utah, that's a different demographic. You know, they're hairsprayed white men who, they hate women. And now, do not kid yourself. The way they've evolved right here, the Mormon church had their way, the women would be wearing burqas. Now, you see women down there protesting at the temple now. The only thing that goes on in Utah all day, every day, 24/7, is the gay marriage fight. Proposition 8 in California was funded on both sides by Utahns. That's all it is here. They have rehab centers for young boys here in Utah. It's amazing how many of these neocon hairsprayed fake Mormons who are really devils, children are gay. So they put them in these rehabs to fix them. They come out and they blow their heads off. The suicide rate is off the hook here. I'll tell you how evil the Mormons are and the Utah State Legislature, which we're the most corrupt people on the face of the earth. They're trying to build, you type in Blue Castle nuclear plant, you're going to get me with a central line hanging out of my chest. It's the best thing I ever did. While I was in critical condition. That's the nuclear plant they're trying to build on the Green River. I exposed how corrupt it was. Of course, Hill of Utah and Arnie Gundershill got together after I had them buried. All my hard work for years. I'm the one that exposed their fake funding. And Judy from the Tribune did incredible work. She buried them. Oh, Hill says, oh, Fukushima happened. That's getting sexy. We need to raise some money in their passive softball freaking activism, like so many of these softball activism groups, Greenpeace, Sierra Club. Stegman would roll on his grave. Oh, we see an opportunity to raise funds. Let's file a lawsuit, which we did because, you know, Kevin Blanch and Judy from the Tribune have them buried. They're done. It's over. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. You'll let them off the mat. Well, I'm in New York standing at Washington Square on the 28th because I thought Megan Rice was going to be sentenced, and I did my post-ignorance walk to Alexander Hamilton's grave. Behind my back, they bring in Arnie Gundershill. Put him on the stand. I read the transcript. I emailed Matt, and I said, you're done. Guaranteed we fucking lose. Guaranteed you brought that rat in. And I want this to be said to Jan Brooks and all of them. I love Jan Brooks, and I love her. Arnie Gundershill is not our friend. Arnie Gundershill does, you know, she says, all his hard work. He doesn't do anything without a check. He doesn't do anything without funding. He blew our whole case there and let them up off the mat. Breathed life into them when they were dead. All my hard work. And let me tell you something. The death of my father, head of the Atomic Register, don't fuck with me. All you activists that are out there and you fucking keyboard activists and you people that come to me, I love every one of you. But don't fuck with me. You don't know my past. Oh boy, if you only knew my past. I laid in the desert with Madeline Rice, Megan's mom, in the Nevada test site. I've been fighting this since I was a little boy. I don't eat, sleep, drink it. I literally sleep with. I watched my father be zipped in the body bag. I've sat with dozens and dozens and dozens of people they die of leukemia. So my lifeline. I had a job making $1 million a year. Gone. Boom. Why? I left Wall Street. My bonus check in 1999 was $900,000. Lived in the biggest house in the county. I mean, the women I was involved with, my ex-wife, are you kidding? I mean, that's one of the most beautiful females in the history of America. All gone because of nuclearism. I'm on Wall Street and I'm watching all of a sudden in 99, boom, 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 boom. Everybody that I ever loved in a very intimate way, they all get cancer at the same time. Leukemia. Here in Utah, I come home, boom, 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 dead. The greatest finance professor in America, boom, Matt Cowan, his brain, Dr. Cooley. You know, Kyle Madsen, boom. His wife, boom. My father, boom. All of them, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my, it violated me so hard, I came home. I quit. They're like, are you crazy? My life spun out of control, you know. A big, incredible, beautiful, award-winning artistic house. Green and red. Oh, what a spectacular thing that was. All of it. All my love's gone immediately. And my uncle says, I never seen anybody go from that to that in that warp speed. And then the bullies pile on. You know how that goes. You think I was born with these scars across my face? No, I got them through that fight. The bullies pile on because they think you're vulnerable, so they want to take advantage. And they know that you were all that. Oh, they're going to show you. You weren't all that. They pile on. I used to tell everybody, you think I'm weak? I think you're wrong. I stood my ground in a very ugly, ugly way. I fought against the war machine of W. Bush. Here, 4 or 5 fights a day. I was right. I knew. Because, like Fukushima, I knew that our culture had been hijacked by Foxconn. I call it the military-industrial complex. I knew. It was like everything. I mean, we grew up in the 60s. Yeah, all our problems, 50s, 60s. But we grew up in this incredible, beautiful America. I mean, I loved it. I loved, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Then all of a sudden, 2000 came along, and it's like it just imploded. Bush steals the election, appoints 2 radical neocons to the Supreme Court when he didn't even win. It needs to be said, Megan Rice's story appeared on page 12 in a little teeny block on the bottom of the New York Times yesterday. Just like when the 7 teams went in and recounted the votes in Florida. It's not commentary. This is documentary. They recounted. Their results were due out September 20th, 2011. All 7 confirmed or won. Due out in the New York Times. New York Times says, oh, we didn't print it. Why? All the 311 nices, Yeah, they put it on page 19. Of course, all the other media didn't even bother reporting it. It's like Naomi Klein, Chris Hedges, Daniel Ellsberg. They can all kiss my ass, every one of them. They make all these monies because when it came right down to it, Valerie Plame Wilson screaming her head off, and that lying piece of shit Colin Powell, who gets a pass somehow, that the greatest Uncle Tom female, that evil, bucktooth, ugly, pathetic female, Condoleezza Rice, Kathleen Harrison. Oh my God. I mean, we can go on and on. The Bush cartel, Prescott's freaking Hitler's best buddies. I mean, it's so over the top evil and it's so blatant in your face that they stole the election, the military coup of 2000. You can argue all you want. But what's happened since 2000? Gasoline, $1.34 a gallon, 2000. A barrel of oil, $10. Gold, $225 an ounce. Median price of a house, $165,000. The greatest inflation in human history between 2003 and 2006. The crushing of the dollar. Against the euro from 75 cents to $1.60 during the freaking war cartel. The military complex blows up. That's just fact. That's fact. You go into the grocery store and says, oh, the price of that, right? Yeah. Instead of getting 14 ounces, you get 6 ounces. Because they just scam you. It's like the nuclear cartel. They all scam you. You don't even know what a usury law is. Tariffs, oh, God forbid. We like competing with slaves in Indonesia who they pay nothing. It's an impossible equation. So we zip around in our cars and just fly around. By signing NAFTA, Bill Walmart Clinton from Oxford, the Road Scour, the Queen's puppet, the TPP, all of it, over and over and over. I mean, look at us now. We're in an airplane flying halfway across country for our job. There's no community anymore. People used to walk to their jobs. People used to work in their communities. There's no community. Subdivisions, you get up in the morning at 5 o'clock. You drive home at 6 o'clock. You don't even know who your neighbors are, and you lived there 15 years. Go to Vegas for maybe a week. Get drunk. We went and looked at some naked strippers, and we got drunk. Good God, we're wild maniacs. Passed out in the room, shot tequila till we puked. You ever been to Mexico? No, and I'm not talking all-inclusive Cancun. That ain't Mexico. That's America because we made it illegal to have fun here. So you go there. It's just America in a little cocoon. I mean real Mexico. Mexico City, sitting in one of the great restaurants. In the old cathedral. They sip tequila. They use it for medicinal purposes all the time. They don't freaking shoot tequila till they're puking. Oh, that's fun, because we're a degenerate nation. We put tattoos all over our body, up and down, pierce every inch of our freaking body, cut our breasts off as a preemptive strike against the nuclear cartel, cut our prostates out, and you're all willing to do it, because we are degenerate people. How did that happen? I don't know. I don't know where it happened. We keep snakes for pets. That is so disgusting. It's so fucking disturbing, all this. It's disturbing. It's a degenerate, sick people in their FEMA camp. We're going to go to our FEMA. You're in your fucking FEMA camp. It's not going to happen. Mission accomplished. It happened. All gone. They thrashed the dollar from 2003 to 2006, annihilated it, which declines all wealth, everything, right down to your fucking Avon picture on your wall. Oh, you get a gun so you can protect the fuckers from coming in your house because they want to steal your Chinese Walmart shit. Yeah, fuck yeah, they want that. Fuck, that's what I fucking want. They fucking throw wedge issues at you and stir you up and fucking get you all emotional why they rob you of your job, why they rob you of your health, why they rob the youth of this country of any future. Gone. Mission accomplished. All of them on the same team? Yeah, they want to be royals. They are fucking royals. They think. But they've gone too far this time. Nuclearism, the crowning jewel of the so-called elite, Illuminati fuck. They wish. Mason fuck. Mason said moderation and justice. Skull and crossbones? Oh, yeah. Oxford, the House of Windsor. Where did the money be traced back from 9/11, which is widely reported now, and which we knew it. I was a derivative trader. It was traced in 3 days. We knew it was in 3 days. I was ranting and raving, carrying on. They got it. They got it. They bought puts on the airline stocks. They got them. They knew in 3 days. Where was it? The House of Windsor. Same old, same old. Right back to the Queen and her uranium mines. And it's been why they're too big to jail. It's amazing how they can 1090 you and just feed you. Oh, Fukushima, you know, and I told you in day one, go look at the video I did that morning, 3/12/11. I told you exactly how they were going to play. I told you exactly what they were going to do. And they did. And they slowly fed you the new norm. What is the new norm? Death via cancer. That's the new fucking norm. The sheep, oh, fuck. Beyond a pathetic populace. You know dogma snuggies? Oh, beyond. It is fucking grotesque. But now they're taking the air and the food they're killing their own. Oh, they got the resources to save their own life. They can, it's a lie. That's a fucking lie. One of my doctors was Steve Jobs' doctors. We're talking one of the richest men on earth, who was a prick, who was a militant nut. Did he have a subconscious idea that he was going to cancel? Maybe, because he was a nut. He was a germaphobe. He wouldn't even take showers because he thought he was going to get it through the water. I mean, this guy was militant his whole life. He died of cancer. All his money could have another minute so he could buy Kansas leftover chair. Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Who's on the cover of that album? Oh, yeah, Tom Brown, the famous abolitionist, who was the most hated man in America. Hung. Why Booth watched him be hung right there in Tennessee. Why Martin Luther King killed right there in Tennessee. Why Megan Rice put in a jail cell in Tennessee. Oh, I learned my lesson about Tennessee. Don't cross the Queen's freaking mates there. Oh, no. Innocent until proven guilty? Fuck no, not in this country. Are you kidding? Due process? Oh, my God. Cruel and unusual punishment to Megan Rice? Absolutely, 100%. What they're doing to her is so horrific. It's a thumbprint of a generation. But now you're killing yourselves. Nuclear, breathe up. Breathe up. Eat up. You can't hide. Yeah, we took a big dose in Utah. You know, who knows? Who knows why I'm alive? Who knows why I pushed out of my bone marrow and presented in the tumors? And my loving best friend, Carla, who had the same thing, pushed into her breast right after she'd run the Ogden Marathon, diagnosed right after that. Same time. Well, now we know this plume hammered us. And I'll guarantee my doctors get an earful on this today, this fucking plume. And I consider this to be beyond fucking malice and an indictment from hell on fucking the media. Those Uncle Tom whore fuckers need to rot in fucking hell. The spiritual leaders, where the fuck are they? The Mormon church and evangelical leaders, these preachers from the fucking pulpit, the government. I mean, beyond fucking evil. They knew and didn't fucking warn us. There are precautions that we all could have took in those early days, including myself. I didn't fucking know we were being hammered this hard. I had a good idea. My premonition played out. The people like Carla, like Paul, like fucking Judy, like fucking Tracy, these are incredible people. Little Molly, 8-year-old girl, I watched them fucking die. Because we were not fucking told, and we paid our taxes to be told. That's what RadNet was. And Gina McCarthy, the Republican Party, they can kiss my ass. I thought we got hope. When he named Gina McCarthy to be new head of the EPA. At the confirmation hearings, that is the oppositional party's duty in this two-party system. It is the which we know we don't have that. David Vitter headed the committee. I'm like, he's going to grill her. Why did you crash RadNet when Fukushima happened? Do you know he didn't even fucking show up? This is a guy who used to have the prostitutes, the Christian right, The liar from hell. That prostitute said he used to like to be dressed up in a diaper with a binky. Yeah, that's real shit. His wife stands, oh yeah, I love him. He just made him say, who's the pathetic? Fuck, how pathetic is his fucking wife? How pathetic are the females of this fucking country right now? 50-year-old women walking around, fucking panties hanging out, fucking tattoo of a dolphin on their ass, trying to be 18. I mean, if I had a young son, and he come home and he says, oh, I got me a cougar girlfriend, I would knock him on his fucking ass. It's disturbing. We as a people are disturbing. We're self-indulged, degenerate, sickening, fucking grotesque people. But that whole grotesque fucking thesis is spilling over into all of culture. We could live abstractly. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not when they poison the water. And who's to blame? The American populace, they know the story of Fukushima. They know. I can prove they know. Fish consumption post-Fukushima is down 60% out of the Pacific Ocean. They fucking know. But they're in fucking their dogma snuggies and their fucking little denial and thinking they're going to be royal and get on the winning team at some fucking point. You ain't on no fucking winning team in your false styrofoam fucking fake rock fucking styrofoam piece of shit fucking mansion you live in. Your molded up piece of shit you owe 3 times more than it's worth. Your piece of shit fucking car you drive back and forth. Made by fucking slaves. GM. America goes as GM goes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Michael Moore, Roger Me, brilliant. Oh, he called it out in detail then. Of course, look what he did. He got on stage and went right with Stone, Pandora's Promise, the nuclear cartel. Every one of you fuckers, everyone. I kept a list. I have a list. We have a list. The bananas guy, all the fake bravado, every one of you guys who supported this. In this posturing group from Eric Lax, Peter Gale, their picture of the green nuclear reactor with butterflies flying at it. Their PR machine out of L.A. Oh, I know who you are. West 10. Top of UCLA fucking transplant center. Well, I'm in East 8, motherfuckers, and fuck you. I know who you are, and I do not forgive. Who the fuck am I to forgive? I don't forgive. I don't. I mean, I'm not as strong as Megan Rice. I'm not as strong as Paul and Carla and Trace, these people that pass in front of me, little Molly. I'm not as strong as them. I watch them forgive, and I watch them prep, and Dana. Right there online, I showed it over and over and over. Right on my video, she allowed us to go in a room and watch her prep herself for death. Post-Fukushima, her animal leukemia, she died. Beautiful, beautiful people. Incredible physically people. They prepped themselves for death and were pure. They call it the good fight for a reason. Well, I'm in my good fight. I got a long ways to go. A guy come right in, a friend of mine says, when I was really critical and everybody thought I was going to die in that room, he come in and he says, pricks like you don't fucking die young. Pricks like you will not die. I laughed. Because I'm not forgiving. I'm not. You know, maybe I'm not strong enough. I'm not like Megan Rice. You know, that beautiful soul that she is. She's better than me. She's purer than me. All these people, they call it because they don't lose. They win. They pass to the next place in a clean, pure. That's why they call it the good fight. That orange logo that I wear, that I'm on my fight like a girl. That counts because it affects girls harder than men, yet they outlive men. Because us men kill themselves when they get, because we are so postured and groomed that our entire status as a person comes down to our bank account, which none of you got any money anyway. You know, it's all false bravado. You know, we've lost the truth. We've lost what it means to stand on real wealth. Remember them old timers used to tell us? You have good health and you have strong relationships, you're a rich man. We lost all of that. We lost having picnics with our family. We lost our community of walking to work. We lost our community of our church structure and our community where people lived together and, you know, people ate together. People worshiped together, not set in a pulp with a rich pastor's fan while you're driving your old beat up and pass the plate around and it ended all. I didn't have a fucking penny to pay. So I made up my own fucking sign. Oh boy. Why? Why? To make these oligarchs even richer? We feed the oligarchs. We feed them. You're still pro-nuclear? Really? How fucking stupid are you? How fucking ignorant are you? We don't fucking use it. There's no fucking equation for the waste. It's everywhere. What part of Fukushima do you not get? What part of Chernobyl do you not fucking get? I guess we'll have one here. And it's going to happen. It's not if, when. Let's hope to God it's not a Diablo Canyon as I was down there. You know, everybody says, well, you can't speak out against them. You know, afraid. I'm like, watch me, fuck them. They are people. I'm not afraid of those folks. Let them come try to fucking bully me. They want to fight? Let's fucking fight. You know, it's like my nurse Megan said. She used to, you know, I had a personal nurse for a long time. Some fucking boys got into me with me, and she's like, "Do you think he's scared of you? He's been fighting the greatest bully in fucking human history. And leukemia. I think he's gonna knock the fuck out of you. I would sit the fuck down, you two fucking tough guys." That's what I told them at Diablo Canyon. I got into it with a couple. I got into it with this fucking fisherman. Oh, you environmentalists. I said, "You a dumb, ignorant, dogmatic fuck. Us environmentalists, we didn't ruin your industry. The nuclear cartel did, you stupid fuck. Don't shoot the messenger. Fuck you. You know, get in my face, I'm going to get right back in yours. But I'm going to do it intelligently. I'm going to do it articulately. I'm going to do it creatively. Because I know my fucking subject matter. I know what I'm talking about. You get all passionate and hot button and crazy. You don't even know who your fucking congressman is. Or your senators. You need to understand the apparatus and the structure that got us here. Tariffs. NAFTA signed in 1990. That was the dagger that was fucking stubbed in. Ross Perot fucking called it to a T. You elect either one of these guys. And they signed NAFTA, which they're going to. Which party, red or blue, is for the working class? Neither, he said. You're going to hear a giant whoosh, and all the repercussions and byproducts that come with it. Every single one of them. Depression, suicide, obesity, all of it. Economic freaking 9/11, 3/11, all of it is a byproduct of that. It is the only tool we have to strip power away from the fucking, this is philosophy as old as mankind. These are the same philosophies Jesus Christ himself was fighting. These are the same philosophies Alexander Hamilton fucking and Thomas Jefferson fought. We fought against the Queen. We didn't believe in the monarchy system. FDR's words. There's nothing more quintessentially American than to hate the monarchy system. Franklin Roosevelt. We forgot that. Franklin Roosevelt. I got to tell you, Winston, I went to England when I was an 8-year-old boy. I saw Queen Victoria. I got to tell you, I hated the old witch. There's nothing more American than to hate old England, the monarchy system. Nothing. Winston Churchill. Everything you say, Winston, shaking, flies in the face of Mother Old England. But I know, if I don't go along with you, we fall just like they did in Russia, just like they did in Austria, just like they did in Spain. Remember when we was kids, all you heard saying on the news? Is Franco dead yet? There's a reason there's no nuclear cartel in Italy and Spain. 2012, April 2012, look it up. The nuclear cartel, for about the 50th time, moved back into Italy. About a 12 team in there for the 50th time. They've been chased out over and over. What did the Italian mob do? They kneecapped the guy, head of it. That's a fact. They kneecapped him and left a note on the door. Said, "We will give you 40 hours to get the fuck out of Italy, or the next fucking 12 hours you get the same treatment." That's a fact, Jack. Same thing happened in Spain. That fuckhead Franco fucking finally fucking died. You know, Picasso fucking was in fear, but he painted. He used art, and he changed the world. Michelangelo, in fear, he painted. You know, the Pope after Pius IV went on there, and he painted over. You know, they call them the panty painters. They painted over his nudes. He lived in fear. He wanted them dead. This is the greatest story of it all, and don't ever forget this. The Pope wanted to change, just like, you know, these powers that be. They want to rewrite history, just like Foxconn wants to rewrite history, just like the evangelicals and the Mormons and all the Christians that say they're Christians want to rewrite history into the devils that they are, just like that Pope was a devil then. He wanted to kidnap Michelangelo's body when he died. Had it. Michelangelo's nephew, Leonardo, not that Leonardo, went in, stole his body in the middle of the night, and carried it back to Florence for 2 days and nights and protected history. That's what we need to do for Megan Rice. Jan, all of us, we need to protect history for future generations, if there are any. Stay in tuned. 3/11/11, Wendover, Nevada. That might suppose an Indianola gay hanger.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck.